G'day mates, and welcome to my newer series, The Guns of Grand Theft Auto 5. In this series, we're going to be taking a look at the different firearms on offer within the game and examining their capabilities, applications, real-life influences and more, as well as taking a look at exactly how they fit into the game and how they're used. Today, to kick us off, we're going to be taking a look at the very first weapon that most people get their hands on when they come to San Andreas, the pistol. The pistol is one of the cheapest and most widely available firearms within the game, meaning that wherever you go and whoever you come up against, there's a pretty high chance they'll be packing one of these. Think of it like the firearms equivalent of a house key, because everyone's got one. It's a very inexpensive weapon, and it can be found at every gun store in San Andreas, meaning it's a popular choice among civilians and criminals both. In addition, it's the standard issue service weapon for most, if not all, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies in the area. The Los Santos PD, the Los Santos County Sheriff's Department, San Andreas Highway Patrol, Noose Tactical Teams, the FIB, the IAA, hell, even the bloody park rangers carry these. And aside from them, it's carried by prison guards and soldiers as a backup weapon. Like I said, everyone in San Andreas has got one of these. Now you might ask, if these are so common, what merits could they possibly have in the game? Why should I use one of these when I've got, say, a belt-fed machine gun or a rocket launcher at my disposal? Well, the gun can be customised with a weapon-mounted light, which is a godsend when you've got to fight dudes in the dark, obviously, as well as a sound suppressor, which will make it a great companion on stealth missions, which, again, obviously. In addition, it can be fitted with extended magazines, bringing the weapon's capacity up from 12 rounds to 16, which isn't a lot, but hey, sometimes those 4 bullets might save your life. In addition, you can personalise the gun with a small variety of different finishes. You can get the army finish, which will make your gun look like you dropped it in a sand pit, or the gold finish, which is handy if you want to look like an aspiring dope dealer. Other tints include a dark green one, an orange one for some fucking reason, an LSPD inspired colour scheme, a pink tint to make your gun look like a deadly packet of bubblegum, a platinum tint, and of course the Yusuf Amir luxury tint, which is an absolute monstrosity that I can only describe as being a gold bar with engravings, sights and a trigger slapped on. Now in regards to its overall performance, it's actually not too bad as far as pistols go. Yeah, it's not going to be the main gun you use for your escapades, but if you've got nothing else, it's a pretty solid emergency weapon. And even if you do have better weapons, this can buy you a bit of breathing room if you use it properly. It's accurate enough to get some solid headshots from pretty far away, depending on your ability, and it's actually got some decent range to it as well. It can snap and lock onto targets from 55 metres away, about 180 feet, but you can still hit targets with it from around 120 metres away. That's just under 400 feet. According to the wiki, its stat bars show a 26% damage rating, a 40% rating for accuracy and rate of fire, a 25% rating for range, and 10% for damage, which is definitely noticeable once you start to get some distance between you and your target. Or if they're wearing body armor, of course. So, if you're on console, you can set your auto aim to assisted aim partial, lock on, quickly flick your aim up and score a pretty easy headshot. That'll help you mitigate that low damage output, but it can take a little bit of practice. It's got a pretty solid fire rate too, so if you hold the trigger down you can get around 160 rounds a minute, but if you rapidly tap the trigger, you can get up to 240 rounds per minute. The accuracy is fine, nothing to write home about for sure, but it's nothing to scoff at either. Depending on your skill level, it may or may not be more accurate than you. But as long as you're not trying to use the iron sights in first person, you should be fine. The iron sights can be a bit tricky to use, mostly because the sight picture, it ain't that good. All this to say, the pistol's definitely not something you want to rely on all the time, but in a pinch you can depend on it for sure. As for some interesting little tidbits on the gun, it's manufactured by Hawk & Little, an in-game arms manufacturer that was established in the US during the 1850s. And that's virtually identical to Smith & Wesson's real history. Visually, the pistol is based on the Brazilian-made Taurus PT92AF, which is itself a clone of the Italian-made Beretta Model 92. The PT92 is a double-action, short recoil-operated, semi-automatic pistol chambered for the 9x19mm Parabellum round, which is a very common pistol cartridge found all across the US. The gun found in-game is obviously meant to replicate the real pistol's operating mechanisms, but thanks to technical limitations, the in-game pistol doesn't quite work the same way. The hammer stays in the uncocked position even after firing the gun in the game, which obviously isn't meant to happen, but this is a minor quirk, most people aren't going to notice it, and again, it's a technical limitation from the 7th gen consoles. Another pretty interesting quirk of the in-game representation is its caliber. The markings on the pistol itself show the gun as being chambered for 9mm, and Michael himself states it's a 9mm semi-automatic in the mission complications. However, you go into ammunition and the description for the pistol will tell you it's a 45, which is wrong because the real PT92 was never offered or produced in 45 ACP. And one final little quirk, the magazine capacities are also incorrect. The 12 round base capacity would be correct for a PT92C, the compact version, but the 16 round extended magazine holds 1 round less than the standard 17 round magazine of a real PT92. And that brings us to our summary and conclusion of this video. So, in short, it's one of the most common guns you'll find in the state of San Andreas, and its low cost, relatively decent statistics, ease of use, and practical customization options ensure that it is going to stay that way. While it's not the most powerful gun out there, or the most accurate gun out there, it doesn't need to be because that's not its intended purpose. It's a simple pistol that's meant for a simple purpose, that being saving the user in a pinch. And there's been plenty of times where it saved me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's something a little different from what I normally do, so we'll see how it goes, but it's something I've been thinking about doing, so I figured I'd channel my inner Ahoy, and, thought why not. Anyway, better wrap this up, so once more, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, mates.